I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox.
And we are in the Man Cave.
Yes, we are.
It is the palatial Podcast Your Voice Studios, the Man Cave suite of the Podcast Your Voice Studios.
Hailing from Southfield, Michigan.
That is where we are. Living in a box. Living in a cardboard box. Matt, we're going to be living in a cardboard box today, but before we do that, we want to just have everybody do something for us if we could.
You know, if you follow the Man Cave Happy Hour, share with your friends, like, subscribe.
All you got to do is tell 1,000 of your closest friends. Tell a person or two if you like spirits and spirits are your game. And learning about them and fumbling through this with us, so just tell a couple friends or say, share it out or just like and subscribe and give it a listen. If you find it on Facebook, find it on YouTube. If you found it on YouTube, find the audio version.
Yes,
if you're listening, and there are because it's an audio podcast, but we do some fun and mixing cocktails like today's episode where we're going to mix it up, put them up. We're going to mix it up. It's fun to watch on the line. So like, subscribe,
just
leave a comment.
Just make a mess. All right, do it.
So do that.
But I'll tell you what, podcastyourvoice.com, if you feel that you need to get your voice out there, if you have something to talk about like we do, we're going to be talking to some wonderful folks today around creating cocktails. Mm-hmm. And, if you have something that you're passionate about,
right?
Give Podcast Your Voice. Go check out the website. We are there for you. We are all about helping you get your voice out there.
That's it. Matt, it's cocktail night.
It's, you know what? Every day's cocktail night. It's Tuesday Booze Day?
It is. Well, we've become amateur bartenders, amateur mixologists.
You've become an amateur bartender yourself.
Yes, I've enjoyed doing that.
I just make a mess.
I just make a mess. I like mixing them up. We've done a bunch of stuff. We tried pairing songs with cocktails.
Right.
We've tried whiskey cocktails and vodka cocktails and gin cocktails.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting pretty good at it. But I still just have my standards that I do at home because they're simple and they're easy. And you don't have to go get all this stuff.
Right.
Because you got to go get all the knickknacks and bric-a-brac if you're going to do,
I'll tell you what. There was one evening I wanted to make a cocktail. And I started searching through my cupboards. And I'm like, I don't have this. I don't have that. Right. And I got really discouraged.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to make a cocktail, and I did not have the ingredients for it.
Matthew, I got a solution for you.
You really? Do you now?
Just things pop up in your feed, right? When you're a couple of boozy guys like us.
Booze Day Tuesday.
And on the face space, you start getting suggestions and feeds, and oddly enough, most of my suggestions are spirits related.
Is that odd, JB?
Yeah, I don't know.
Help me understand why.
And but there was this very cool thing slid across my timeline.
Okay.
And it's called Shaker and Spoon.
Shaker and Spoon,
and it's a box.
Uh-huh.
It's a box of magic.
Really?
That arrives at your house.
I see the magic in front of me.
It is.
But I have yet to crack it open.
We have a shaker and spoon box.
Look at that
here with us. It arrived safely, very quickly. It came very, very quickly. And we've been sitting on it for a little bit. We're going to find out about what's in this box.
Uh-huh.
What's even better than the have in the box?
What's better to have in the box?
The people that came up with the idea.
You know what?
For the box would be good to talk to.
Jamie, I have a solution for you in that regard.
You know who came up with this idea?
Help me understand who.
It's let's give this a try. Mike Milyovsky.
Okay.
And Anna Gorovoy.
Really?
I'm 90% sure that's correct.
And there, look who's here! There's Anna.
Anna Gorovoy. You did a great job on the pronunciation.
Anna, thank you. Mike is on the way back into frame as well, and we're gonna talk about this. You guys are head cook, chief bottle washers for Shaker and Spoon. This was you guys. You founded this idea? Was this your idea?
Yes, chief bottle washers. I love it.
Chief cook and bottle washers.
Went out a friend to get us some drinks.
Well, it occurred to me where clearly
he was listening to your intro and he was like, when we enter the studio, we should have a drink.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
Start with the cheers.
Yay!
Cheers.
I think we're gonna mix up some cocktails over on their side.
Yes,
we
for
are.
sure. So yes,
that's the whole point.
So, so Shaker and Spoon, it's this amazing box of goodies. There's several different boxes. We're going to get into all that. But before we do that, Mike and Anna, we're going to start with you. Mike, tell me about your childhood.
Oh, my. Well, I think we actually both have the same sort of origin story. We were both born in the former Soviet Union. Our parents, you can hear, neither of us really have an accent. Our parents brought us over. I was 4.
Yeah, because Milyovsky and Gorovoy were freaking me out all day. So.
Yeah.
You did great, by the way.
So I told him, great job on the pronunciation. I wasn't sure if that was a real question or a joke question. Tell me about your childhood.
That's a real question. Yeah.
I say that all the time, and a lot of we see where it goes. Sometimes people answer. Sometimes an amazing story unfolds. Sometimes we get scared. It's just a fun way to kick it off.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah. So, but what was your background that led you to the Shaker and Spoon? What led you to spirits and then creating the Shaker and Spoon?
Well, those are kind of almost two different things. I think what led me to spirits is life, maybe, and
what drove you to drink?
being here. I'm very blessed to be here in Brooklyn, New York. I've lived here for a long time, and in New York in general for going on 15 years now.
Okay, and
it's the access to various spirits is plentiful. There's a huge bar culture in general in New York. We all have tiny little apartments, and when we want to meet up, we go to the bar. It's just it just makes sense. It's the social outing, and there are just world-class bars here in New York. So having lived here for as long as I did, I've gone to a ton of different places, and obviously at a certain point started to discover cocktail bars and how just exciting that experience is, and getting into just different flavor combinations that you wouldn't expect, and just tasting something that you don't expect to taste and being surprised and delighted. And that's kind of like the best part of that experience, I think. Nice. There's so many amazing notable bars here in New York. I've been to probably a small fraction of them, and they that was, I think, what kind of like led me here from a spirits point of view. My background is as a designer, and I really do love designing kind of in all senses of the word. You have the box in front of you, and I hope you see, like, it's there's a lot of kind of thought that goes in.
There's a lot of fun from the inside out.
Certainly to the recipes. Sorry.
There's a lot of fun from the inside out.
Yeah, like certainly to the recipes, but very much to like the all aspects of the cards, the box, the vessels we put everything into. We do try to put a lot of thought into kind of the form, the functionality, and obviously in the end the taste.
So I like that your background is as a designer, and I can see I really can see the design elements in this. Anna, were you in the spirits industry, or where do you come from?
No, a lot of people think that at least one of us came from hospitality. Right, yeah. That is not true, and nor accurate. I also have a design background for design. And Mike's background is motion graphics. So 2 designers. And really, in terms of, to summarize what Mike was saying earlier, craft culture, culinary culture in Brooklyn, New York is hopping. We enjoy it. And at a certain point, we had the rise of at-home kits, like Blue Apron was just coming onto the scene, and Mike thought, this is very cool, and I like how they send you everything and how the ideas that you learn by doing, and I already actually know how to make a meal, but wouldn't it be very cool if there were a service like this, but actually teaches you how to craft a cocktail that is similar to something that you could find, at one of these great bars, but you could use it at home for entertaining? Wouldn't that be a nice service? And at the time, there wasn't really one. So Mike was like, why don't I create something?
Why don't I design this?
So the idea was just like purely from like out of like love of cocktails, not from expertise.
Okay.
Right.
So help me then understand, the two of you with similar backgrounds, how did the two of you come together to kind of formulate Shaker and Spoon? Because you founded in 2015. So what was the process leading up to that to launch? How did the two of you find one another to begin with?
Oh, we've known each other for much longer than that. We're spouses, but also we're partners in the business.
Okay.
One came well before the other.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had to ask.
Okay.
The idea really for like the core concept of Shaker and Spoon really was Mike coming up with an entrepreneurial venture, and then I ended up along for the ride.
Fair enough.
It's been quite the ride, but there was a lot of kind of working through what the concept would be, how to package everything, kind of figuring all that out, and that was, I have no idea honestly when that started. But in late 2015 we launched the website and started taking orders and kind of had the sort of first iteration of what this ended up being.
Again, the website is amazing.
Yes.
It's really rich and brings to life. The photography is great, very very crafty and very artful. And then you're giving credit where credit's due. Each of the cocktails is curated by different bartenders. That I don't. And again, that was going to be one of my questions. But when you go, you can find out who created this cocktail, right? Who came up with this idea. And then it's like where they work, their experience, and then their take on that particular cocktail. And then leading into it, describing the box, there's just really rich descriptions. So it's a fun site. It's just if someone can walk through, and they could do it. They don't, we don't need you, because they could go through and pull out these recipes basically from your website, kind of, not totally, but you don't have all the proper fixins and by the looks of it, there's some kind of borderline gourmet fixins.
Borderline,
and there's not this straight up gourmet fixins in these boxes.
You guys, I think you really understand the service very well, because in your introduction, you very succinctly laid out the problem and the solution. Sometimes you want a special cocktail, you could go find a recipe, but do you actually have everything on hand to create this cocktail?
Right.
Do you, if not, do you want to hunt it all down? If you do hunt it all down, do you want to invest in the full-size bottles of all of these components?
Right.
How do you know that you can trust the recipe?
Yeah.
And, what if you want to try it alongside tens of thousands of other people? What about that?
Yeah. So,
so I got this case of Luxardo cherries. What do I do with them?
Yeah.
Oh, you eat all of them immediately.
Right. Oh, we do.
We do.
What do you mean? What do you do?
Yeah, we even put that
real
ice
question.
cream.
Those cherries aren't cheap. Like,
No.
how do you make sure you use them in a great recipe? That is a legitimate question.
A friend of ours of the Man Cave, a flavor journal.
Yes.
And she actually
Sarah.
She actually put a cocktail recipe together utilizing the syrup from the Luxardo cherry itself.
Oh, of course, that stuff is so good.
Oh,
Right.
We have a cocktail, and one of the components is the syrup from a bottle of Filthy Cherry is, similar product competitor to Luxardo. Yeah, that's syrup. Don't waste it. It's a great ingredient.
Absolutely.
That was the thing. I had run a bottle of Luxardo's out, and I'm like, I got this. There's got to be something cool I can do with this. And so we searched out a recipe, and then it was Sarah from a Flavor Journal, and so we brought her on, and we had her walk us through it. And it was a riot. It was a riot. And speaking of, it's just a riot. There's you have several different iterations of the boxes. People can order these up, and you guys are punny.
I love the puns,
like
really
us. Do. Yeah, we do. We're ripe with the puns. So I'm just going to name some of the boxes that we got going, and then we're going to get to the box that we have before us here. But we got the Jolly Gin for Punch.
I think you mean
Jolly for Gin Punch.
For Gin Punch.
Yep. I like the January box.
Yeah.
Well, we've pulled that trick a handful of times.
Fruits of Fall, Summer Scotch.
Girls just want to have bourbon box.
Fall for Mezcal. Mezcal is really racing up the charts right now. Mm-hmm. People are going kooky for the Mezcal.
Mm-hmm. About time.
It's interesting. It's just starting to take hold in Detroit. And everybody's like, keep on is like, oh, rum's going to be the next thing. Rum's going to be the next thing. Bourbon is like whiskeys and bourbons. They've had their day. And I'm like, the whiskeys and bourbons aren't going anywhere real soon. They may wane a little bit, but rums haven't really taken hold the way people always think they will. But mezcal is screaming up the charts right now. But the box we have before us,
it's not the Rum's the Word box.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
It's All Eyes on Rye.
All Eyes on Rye.
All Eyes on Rye.
So does that mean we want to use a rye whiskey? I'm assuming that.
That's what I'm going to guess. That in each box there's the fixins for 3 different cocktails for 4 mixins of each 3 different cocktails. Is that correct?
That's correct. So you'll be able to make at least 12 cocktails. Sometimes you can eke out a few more per recipe.
Jamie, are you driving me home, Jamie?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So All Eyes on Rye. Inside here we got a sour, which I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Baklava?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Baklava
you guys
sour.
are great. Don't sell yourself short.
All right. A Homestead Old Fashioned and the Creole Sling are the 3 in here. And
I think the 2 that
cool.
we're going to make tonight, I think we're going to do the Creole Sling, and then we're going to do the Homestead Old Fashioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't bring an egg with me. I was
going to say, that makes sense, unless you're hiding an egg somewhere.
I didn't bring an egg to the studio. I thought about it, and then I was like, So I think 2 cocktails will be enough.
Yes, I do. It's a school night. It is a school night, so So,
but these are great. So, just the baklava sour. It's just egg white, rye whiskey, lemon juice, the baklava syrup,
and the cardamom bitters.
And so that's what's in those. And then there's other amazing. There's a black cherry. We got spritz of orange oil. Orange bitters, black pepper bitters. See, and there was a recipe that I saw I wanted to do. It's called for chocolate bitters, and I don't have chocolate bitters, and I'm like, do I want to go buy chocolate bitters?
Right?
And
because how often are you going to use them?
Right, and it's like, but now if it comes in the box of black pepper bitters, it's in the box.
Right,
it's in the box.
What's in the box?
That's it. Don't look in the box. We are going to look in the box.
All right.
And then there's a cinnamon and vanilla infused maple syrup in one of these, and then chicory pecan bitters. It's magical stuff inside this box.
We do like our bitters. We really do like cocktails and the bitter side of it. So we're actually expanding our bitter palate just a little bit this evening with these cocktails. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So having the right tools, we actually have some decent bar tools in here.
Yes,
so we got strainers, we got muddlers, we got stirrers, we got shakers, we got spoons, we got all kinds of stuff. So I think we're prepared to mix these up. But the ingredients, right? These are pretty amazing ingredients. And except for the egg whites and then the alcohol itself, everything's in the box. Can you tell me, like, where do you guys source all these magical ingredients? Are they... Who picks them? Are your bartenders picking them? Are you picking them? How do you pick the ingredients that go in the box?
Well, the whole point of the product is to try to translate what the bartenders are doing as purely as possible. So not that we don't work with the bartenders, we very much do, and we certainly have to steer them away from some things onto others, but in an ideal,
supply chain problems are real.
I can't ship a blender to everybody. Knock it off. If it involves a blender, go home.
We're basically here to make, like their vision a reality.
Right.
So the recipes are their artistry, and we have a logistics team to source everything properly.
Yeah, but like what you're sort of getting is the translation of what you'd get at the bar. So we actually make everything ourselves that the bar would make themselves. So in this case, and we have made tinctures and bitters blends and infusions and things like that. That's not what you're getting in this box. We're sourcing high quality bitters from really great bitters producers. There's really wonderful ones out there, and then we're making a lot of things that are going to bring a specialty flavor the same way that the bartender would in that great craft cocktail bar that you're going to. So for the Creole Sling, actually that's a bad example, but for the Homestead Old Fashioned that you're about to make, there's the winter spice syrup that we made ourselves. It's a very hot item on our site. Nice. The winter spice syrup. Oh yeah, that is a fan favorite. You guys, you are. Even in the summer, it's a hot one. Yeah, and then the baklava syrup is also something we make for the baklava sour. So and you're gonna see that in every box. Like again, it's just bartenders get a theme and obviously some restrictions, such as using a single spirit with some exceptions. We have had some exceptions there. Yeah. And we have an audience question. Yeah. What is everyone's favorite cocktail? Oh, that's so hard. It's like making me choose children.
Who's your favorite child?
Yeah. I was just thinking about this when we were talking earlier about hot spirits. I'll say that mezcal is actually my favorite spirit.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a bourbon boy. I'm in love with the bourbons right now.
I've been leaning to. I've been enjoying bourbon and whiskey for a long time, but I'm leaning towards the clear liquid, your vodkas and your gins. Actually, and that's where I've been leaning
as a cocktail. Lately. I love the old fashioned because it's quick, it's easy, it's tasty. Is when for my cocktail, I just might go to, and even when I'm out and about, I'll get the smoked old fashioned or the special house old fashioned just to see how other people are doing it. Interestingly, and we have one to do tonight, and I'm so excited about it. So, how do you pick your bartenders? How do you find?
I was going to ask the question about
fair play. Yeah,
the R&D that you guys have going on behind the scenes. What does that look like? So much fun. It's so much fun, that R&D side of it, because you're just testing this, that. What is that? How long of a process is that? The R&D side
That depends.
Yeah, sometimes there are more challenges than others. Certainly, like as I kind of fainted up before. Right now there are a lot of supply chain issues, so the R&D process is trickier because it's harder to get certain things, especially if they're not domestic products. But the R&D process is several months long. The bartenders will be onboarded and have a sense of the theme, and they will submit multiple concepts, and we'll look at the concepts and we'll see, which of these make sense together according to physical fit, according to budget, according to theme of the box, of course. And we'll be looking at sourcing everything, and then we'll source what we can source, and then we'll start, testing it with our in-house person who QAs everything. And, that will also, there's usually a syrup recipe, as Mike was saying, from each bartender, and we have to kind of look at what they submitted, which is usually like on a stovetop scale, and figure out how that's going to translate to a manufacturing scale. So there's R&D involved with that.
Right.
Are these New York bartenders, or are these people from all over creation?
It's all over the world. Okay. Right now we're actively working on April's through July's. We have people working on July recipes, I think, at this point. And we're probably going to get people working on August recipes within the next, I would say, 2 weeks or so. It's mostly US based, but it's really spread around the US, and we have had a good number of people from
in May's box. We have someone who's in Mexico.
Wow. Yeah, we have a we have a bunch of Italian people.
They're all in the U.S.
Oh,
right.
How sneaky of them.
They're from Italy.
Okay, there's a slight theme there.
Yeah, and then we have some Canadians.
We do have some Canadians
in a box that's in the fall.
Yeah,
so.
but they're kind of sourced from all over. We do really try to work with top tier bartender talent. It is kind of the promise of the box, and it is what we try to deliver. So I
would say it's what we successfully deliver. I think I know it's a point of differentiation of our service, and at this point we have a very wide network and a lot of contacts in the industry, and we and the bartenders have a great time working together and bringing their vision to life and delivering it to households. It's great fun for everyone. It's fun for the subscribers to get this bit of culture that we have people in like rural Alaska. Like, you cannot go to a bar the same way that you can in New York, but we're able to deliver it all to them, which is great.
It's a moose right. It's just a moose right away.
By Southern Teague.
Yeah. Actually, the question that just came through from Sean, and he said, "Do bartenders have the cocktails by memory, or still have sheets to follow?" Well, we're going to follow the sheets.
We're going to follow
those sheets.
These bartenders need sheets, but the bartenders who created them, they created
it.
So, if someone fancied themselves a fancy pants bartender, could they petition to be part to contribute a cocktail? Is that, or do you find the bartenders?
I would say, it happens in a lot of different ways. We have, alumni that we've worked with over and over. We have people who are referred to us. We have people who reach out to us. We are introduced to people all the time. So, the talent comes to us in a myriad of ways.
So we got a bartender for you. I got a bartender?
Oh, do we got a bartender for you?
No, but Tara, she's amazing. Actually, she just won she's the top 100 bartenders in the U.S. and she was like the top 10 in the Midwest. She was in the she's amazing. She'll come in. We'll have her come in and she'll like mix stuff for us. And she works at all the upper end bars here.
Yeah,
in Metro
introduce
Detroit.
us. She'll fit right in.
Yeah. I think you'll dig her too. She's like really awesome. All right, before we dive into mixing it up, Matthew,
yes.
I think we're going to take a break and we're going to roll this over to another episode.
That might not be a bad idea because we really got into their cocktails.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
I'm still making one as we speak.
I know it's the cocktails are still flowing. So what we're going to do? We're going to take a pause for the cause. Be right back. 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery all of a sudden.
Oh my God.
So thank you for hanging out in the man cave with us. And it's just been a riot here with Mike and Anna, and it just gets better from here, and it's all going to happen in the next episode. So if you want to, just make sure you subscribe, so you're in tune and you're lined up to get that next episode.
Yep.
Or if you're listening in reverse, the end was great.
Yes. And you already know how it ends.
That's it. We haven't even gotten there yet, and you already know. You're like a time traveler. Share us your science. But no, all right. So you can tell we recorded this after the whole thing. We had our contest. So like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the Man Cave Happy Hour, mancavehappyhour.com, podcastyourvoice.com. Come on in, make some noise. If you got an idea, that's all you need. If you want to make a podcast, so I want to do a podcast, but I don't know how. You don't have to. All you got to have is an idea.
Figure out what your idea. Sit down with us. We will talk.
And if you're not sure, it's like, I want to do a podcast. I think it might be something like this. And here's the thing that we coach people on.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you got that idea? Guess what? In 7 episodes from now, it will be something else. Very often podcasts evolve.
They do
and change. Like this one was supposed to be like a 40-minute making a cocktail. It turned out it's an hour and a half, and we didn't want to, make you sit through an hour.
We didn't want to bore you for an hour and 40 minutes.
So we were gonna chop this in two. So we're gonna pick up next episode, and we are going to spill some cocktails. We're going to make a mess. If you're watching the go and watch the YouTube version or the Facebook video, I'm
still making a mess.
I'm
still making a mess.
So there you go. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Man Cave Happy Hour, mancavehappyhour.com. Cheers.
Cheers.